Hello and welcome to Core with Court. Today we have a Pilates ball exercise. So if you have a Pilates ball, you will grab it now. We will be using it for some of the exercises throughout the class. If you do not have one, that is totally fine. Everything can be adjusted using your body and the mat. So whenever we're ready, we're going to lie all the way down onto our backs with our feet facing in one direction. We can just hold that ball to start. We're just going to go into our knee sways, just swaying those knees side to side, doing that warm up to locate that neutral from east to west, massaging that sacrum bone underneath us, finding that place of balance from side to side. And once we find that place, we'll go into our pelvic rocking. So thinking about releasing your entire back down to the mat and then arching away. And repeat, release it down. Arch away and repeat, making it smaller each time, finding that neutral. And when we're there, we'll hold that body still. We're going to just lift up those shoulder blades only. You're going to wedge that ball underneath them, finding that slight ab curl positioning. I want you to think about scooping that belly button in and up as the rib cage comes down towards those hip bones. We'll bring the hands behind our head. We're going to find a oblique twist. Our left knee into our chest as we twist towards it. Come back down. Do the same thing on the other side. Lowering back down. Keep tugging that rib cage down. Resisting any bulging of the stomach. Keeping that core in nice and tight. You have 4. Great job. Go for 3. 2. And 1 on each side. And rest. Take that quick stretch over that ball. And then come back up. We are going to move that ball back a little bit more so we have it just underneath where a bra strap typically would lie on your back. So I want you to stick with those knees bent if you want to stay with that layer. Otherwise, we are going to advance this where we're going to straighten out our legs all the way. Hands come behind our head. With that ball moved down a little bit more, we have a little bit more of an ab curl as well as an extension. So we're going to do the same exact thing with those legs extended. Point your toes. Twist to that left side. Come back down. Ooh, feel a little bit more engagement in those obliques here. You got it. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. And repeat. Feel free to go back to those bent knees if this is too much for that core, because we want to make sure you're staying with that focus of lowering that belly button into that spine and keeping that rib cage down. You're doing great. We have 4. Go for 3. Last 2. And last one on each side. Going to the left, middle, right, middle. Great job. Take that rest, extending over that ball. And come back up. We are going to slide that ball down just a little bit more one more time just to remove that change. We'll put our forearms down onto the ground. We'll bring our knees into our tabletop. Continue to scoop that belly button. Hold that core in tight. Single leg kicks. Kick one leg out. Pull back in. Kick the other leg out. Pull back in. So sometimes when we lift our feet here, our pelvis tries to tilt upwards. Make sure it's tucked down towards that rib cage and keep it there to resist any back pain. You're doing great. Going for 5. 4. Keep knitting those abdominals together. Last 3. 2. Last one on each side. Great job. Drop those feet down. We're going to switch to double leg kicks now. Bring the feet back up, kick them out, pull back in. Out. pull back in. Lots of focus, keeping that core nice and tight. I want you to look a little bit up above those toes when they're extended so the neck stays long, and maybe relax those shoulders back into their sockets. Can you go even lower towards that mat? You got it. We're here for 6, 5, going for 4, 3, 2. On your last one, we're gonna hold. Flutter kick those legs. You got it. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Bring those feet into pretzel. Cross on over down to that mat. Sitting back up. We'll take a spinal twist just to release any tension in that back. Come back up to the other center and switch to the other side. Awesome job. Let's grab that ball. We're going to go into some bridging here. So we want to make sure our heads are all the way down onto that mat, and we'll wedge that ball between our knees, placing our hands down off to either side of us. The purpose here with the ball is we're going to get even more engagement in those glutes as well as those inner thighs. So I want you to really think about squeezing that ball, trying to pop it in between your legs. If you do not have a ball, I want you to try and focus on keeping those legs as stable as possible, resisting moving them out, keeping them exactly hip distance apart. We'll walk those heels in towards those glutes, and we'll think about articulating the spine. So to do that, we're gonna lift the hips slightly up, rocking that pelvis forward. We're gonna bring that low back with it, mid back, upper back, and pause. Find that squeeze for those glutes, that squeeze in that ball. Make sure that rib cage is tucked down and in line with those hip bones. We're not flailing, and we are not arching that spine. We're staying right there where we get that engagement. Articulate the spine as we go down. So that upper back first, mid back, low back. Great job. And repeat, squeezing everything up to that top, and then dropping very slowly. Should be a nice massage for that back. Think about sending those kneecaps to that opposite side of the room. Bringing up that low back, mid back, high back. Last 3 here. You have 2. And on your last one, let's stay in that high positioning wherever we are without arching that spine. Squeeze that ball, release. Squeeze and release. Exhale and inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping yourself all the way down. You can take that ball out from those knees. Give those knees a hug. Sway side to side. Great job. We'll put that ball back in between those knees. We're going to do a flat back hinge this time, so everything comes back up to that glute bridge at once. So exhale, reaching up. Inhale, tap glutes. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, tap glutes. Great job. Keep that back nice and flat the entire time. Squeezing that ball, getting that shake for those side glutes. Go for 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, and hold, pulse, squeeze that ball. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping down, great job. Remove that ball, give those knees a hug, swaying side to side. Great job. We will come up to our seated position and make our way to our side. We are going to do some side glutes exercises. So you have the option to be up on your forearms so we can engage those obliques, or we drop down to our side and have our hand as our pillow. Still using those obliques, but having a little less tension for that shoulder. All right, you make that decision. Wherever you are, you want to be on that left hip facing me. And I want your knees in a 90-degree angle, toes pointed, stacked on top of each other. Hips, you take a check. You want to make sure they're completely on top of each other. It's not tilting to the back. It's not tilting to the front. They're right stacked. we'll take that ball, we're gonna wedge it underneath that top knee. If you do not have a ball, you can do all of this without it. All right, if you do have that ball, you're squeezing it, you're trying to pop it. We're making sure that forearm is right underneath our shoulder and we're pushing out of that shoulder if we're up on it. You're gonna exhale, lift that leg, lower back down. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Wherever you are, make sure you're still pushing out of that shoulder. You're keeping that neck nice and long. We're still using our obliques, whether we're lying all the way down or we're on that half up positioning. You got it for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold nice and high. We're gonna pulse up to ceiling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that knee down, give that hip a pat, waking it back up. Before we spice it up a little bit more, we're gonna add some circles and some rotations. So you're gonna lift that leg all the way up. I want you to think about kicking it back and come back forward. Kick it back, come back forward. Hold that core in nice and tight. Make sure that those hips are not moving. You're keeping them stacked, resisting, leading to the back of the room. Exhale, kick back. Inhale, come forward. You got it. For 6, 5. You have 4, 3, 2, and 1. We hold and pulse for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that knee down, give that hip a pat. We're gonna come up, remove the ball, take that mermaid stretch on one side. All right, we are gonna make our way to our stomachs. We are gonna go into some back exercises before we come on to that other side. So I want you to think about lying all the way down on your back. If you are not using that ball, I want you to just extend those arms slightly in front of those shoulders here. You're gonna go into those baby swans. For those with the ball, you're gonna keep the ball underneath your hands. You're gonna lower your head down towards that mat. And for the people with the ball, you're gonna think about rolling that ball back towards you as you come into that baby swan. Those with their hands, we are lifting ourselves up through those palms. So wherever you are, we think about rolling that ball back towards us or lifting those hands, lowering all the way back down. So think about smushing those hip bones into that mat below you to protect that low back. Should feel like a nice stretch. This should feel like a nice stretch for those abdominals as we work those back muscles. Let's go for 6. Going for 5. 4. Last 3. 2. And last 1. Great job. Lower yourself all the way back down. And we're gonna pass that ball onto that left hand. You are going to do the same exact thing, just isolating this one hand. So your right hand will stay off to the other side. I want you to think about just rolling that left elbow in towards those rib cages and then extend it all the way back out. And repeat, roll that elbow in towards those rib cages and extend everything back out. If you are not using the ball, you are just lifting that hand and keeping that right hand nice and long. Just isolating that left side of that upper body on that back end. Last 3. 2, keep smushing those hip bones, protecting that low back. And 1. Great job. Let's pass that ball over to the other side. Left arm now stays down. Ball is underneath that right hand. We lower ourselves down. We push those hip bones into that mat. We roll ourselves up using that right arm. Lower back down. Great job. Exhale, lower that arm to that rib cage. Exhale, bring that arm to that rib cage. Inhale, come back down. And repeat. We have 4. 3. 2. And 1. Take that ball in between those hands, rest that head down on that mat, bend those knees, sway side to side. Great job. We'll peel ourselves up from the mat, coming into that tabletop just so we can switch over to that other side for those side glutes. So we're gonna come down onto that right hip now, dropping down to that forearm or lowering ourselves all the way down onto our side, using our hand as our pillow. Wherever you are, you wanna push through that shoulder, keeping that neck long towards that top angle of the room. And we have those knees stacked, hips stacked in that 90-degree angle. We're gonna lift that knee, lower back down. Squeeze that ball to get even more engagement in that side glute. You have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We pulse to ceiling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that knee down, give that hip a pat, waking it back up, and then we find that kick again. So we're gonna lift up that leg, kick it back, swoop it forward, kick back, swoop forward. Keep that core nice and tight, resisting any movement in those hips. Exhale, kick. Inhale, come back. For 6, 5, 4, last 3, into we pulse, and last one, end with that kick back. We pulse up and down for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Bring that knee back in. Give that hip a pat, waking that hip back up. We'll keep that ball here. You're going to drop yourself all the way down onto that bicep so your head stays nice and long. Your arm stays nice and long. We're going to place our hand behind our head. We're just going to do a nice stretch here. So I want you to think about bringing that elbow down towards that mat and then arching it back, looking up towards that ceiling, feeling that nice stretch for that back. Great job. Lower that head back down towards that mat. And then lift it back up towards the ceiling. Continue to squeeze that ball underneath that top knee. Should feel really nice on that back, on that spine. A great stretch if you work at a desk all day. It'll help with that posture. Holding on this last one, just staying here, enjoying that stretch if it feels good. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself back to that centered position. We'll take that ball out from underneath our knee. We'll peel ourselves up, take a quick mermaid stretch, and we will do the same thing on the other side. So we'll swing our legs down. We'll find that side lying position again, dropping down on that straight arm underneath us, stacking those knees, wedging that ball for that support. Hand comes behind your head. We lower ourselves down, and then we find that stretch back. And repeat, lower that self down. Find that stretch back up. You have 5. Going for 4. 3. Last 2. And on this last one, let's hold ourselves, enjoying the spinal rotation for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back forward, taking that ball out, and finding your way to seated. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your workout, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.